From London, Asad.
Well, killings are up, knife crime is up, and here in London has seen the highest increase of knife offences, some 14,660 offences last year in the country's capital. And just on Saturday, a 17-year-old boy was stabbed in broad daylight on a bus in London. Now, politicians or opposition lawmakers have criticised the government. They've said that there's not enough funding for grassroots organisations and they're not matching the scale of the problem. Now, I am joined by Pastor Lorraine Jones. Her son was killed just a few hundred metres down the road, and she's the founder of Dwaynomics, a grassroots organisation that deals with at-risk teens. Lorraine, why are the figures still so high?
It's horrifying, it's heartbreaking, and the figures are very high and they will get higher. We need help. We've been shouting, crying, screaming to the government to support not just the grassroots organisations, but the police, as well as mothers like myself. We've got children that are not just a part of gangs, the drug world. Normal children from primary school level going to secondary school level that are terrified at these figures. It's creating mental ill health, it's creating emotional imbalances. Grassroots organisations like myself, which are very, very few, have been inundated with young people coming into our service for help. We really need the government to act right now.
You just mentioned children. Tell me some of the ages that you're dealing with here.
We're working with children as young as 5 years old because we're working on prevention as well as diversion. Now, what we need to understand, as adults, we're terrified by the figures and how these crimes are being committed in broad daylight. As adults, if we're terrified, what's going to happen to our children? They're watching the news, they're having this information in school. These children are terrified. So we're working with children as young as 5 years old that are dealing with anxiety, depression, stress. They can't be children, but we need more resources to be able to accommodate the challenge.
How exactly do you help them?
How do we help them? We've got a number of classes. At Dwaynomics, we do boxing and fitness, so we're channeling our positivity through sport. We also do workshops around life skills, how to deal with challenges, how to speak to the police, how to speak to your teachers about problems you're going through school. We know that the county line numbers have soared into the thousands across the country. How did they recruit these kids? It's very, very subtle. So we have to safeguard our kids around all these challenges that they are having to deal with.
You said about funding. How much has government actually listened to you?
We're desperate for funding. I can speak for Dwaynomics, and I know other organisations like Options for Change that is also in Lambeth. We're getting little to none funding compared to how many youth we are dealing with. And this is an outrage.
Thank you very much, Lorraine. Thank you. So as you see there, people here are desperate for funding and desperate for support to stop the high levels of knife crime and murders taking place in this country.
Okay, Asad Baig, thank you so much for that, live from London.